increase access to life-saving innovations that save millions of lives. And it includes examples of what you see today, expanding the availability and affordability of financial services that meet the needs of everyone, so people can build security and prosperity for themselves, their families, and their communities. Today, you may be surprised to know about 3/4 of people in the world have an account at a financial institution or through a mobile money provider. That reflects a remarkable 25 to 50% increase in just the last 10 years. This increase is an important step that can help millions of people get a path out of poverty and spur economic growth. Digital technologies and progressive new national policies are breaking down the barriers that once kept these services out of the reach for many, especially out of the reach for the poor. In collaboration with our partners, we at the Gates Foundation have supported public and private investments in digital payment infrastructure, the development of new regulatory standards, and the integration of gender equality and inclusion initiatives to ensure continued progress towards the promise of financial inclusion and economic opportunity for all. After a challenging but rewarding journey, today we celebrate the success of a very important initiative, Rast in Pakistan. And Pakistan is just getting Rastized, as we heard today. It has been a multi-year effort of so many people to create this digital payment infrastructure to foster an inclusive, interconnected, and innovative digital ecosystem here in Pakistan, and be the base for a digital economic future for Pakistan. And now we have the opportunity to do so much more with the launch of the Buna Rast Connectivity Project. Integrating Rast and Buna payment systems will essentially link the Arab and Pakistani economies digitally and boost financial inclusion, system efficiency, and economic productivity. As you know, and you've heard today, there are 5 million Pakistani migrant workers in Arab countries. And the big picture implication of improving the affordability and efficiency of remittances from the Arab region into Pakistan are just enormous. The additional income from remittances enhances spending in local economies, supports small businesses, and creates jobs. But I'd like to highlight 3 specific ways in which Buna Rast connectivity will tangibly improve individual people's lives in Pakistan. Firstly, it will make it cheaper and easier to send money across borders. Secondly, it will improve families' and communities' economic stability and resilience. And thirdly, it will help women and children in Pakistan. I can't talk about international remittances without noting, of course, the incredible personal sacrifices that our migrant workers make, living far from their families and communities. And unfortunately, today, for most low-income workers remitting money, it's very expensive, it's inconvenient, and it takes a very long time. It can take multiple days for money to reach its destination. This project is important because it can be designed to meet the needs of both the sender and the recipient, improving the experience and outcomes for both. With Buna Rast, we can transform the experience of transferring money and, by extension, transform the lives of those living back home. The simplest indicator of success, to me, will be that sending money should become cheaper and easier to transfer. This will incentivize people to send remittances through formal channels, which helps to protect workers and their families from exploitation. And once small transactions become cheaper and safer, the transaction numbers will become more frequent. In fact, we know this already. An IMF study found that a reduction in transaction costs was associated with an increase in remittances, both amount transferred and the frequency of transactions. Migrant workers not only transmitted the cost savings to their families, but they also sent more overall. So families of migrant workers can save more and build a financial safety net. The financial security provided by regular flow of remittances can prevent families from falling into debt or resorting to harmful coping mechanisms such as high interest loans or selling assets. Buna Rast can make it so that poor households who rely on remittances will be better able to cope with economic shocks. They will be in a better position to manage the unexpected burden of a poor harvest or a storm or a flood or any of the unplanned expenses that can be so devastating for a household without a financial safety net. According to an ADB report in Pakistan, households receiving remittances experience nearly a 13% decrease in the probability of falling into poverty. This stability is crucial for sustainable, shock-resilient development and the well-being of these communities. Also, families of migrant workers will have greater financial security because of Buna Rast. Evidence has shown that digital transactions lead to better health outcomes in low-income and rural communities because an immediate digital transfer helps recipients manage unexpected health emergencies when they arise. This also holds true for accessing preventive health care. For example, in households that receive remittances, pregnant women are more likely to get antenatal and postnatal care, contributing to better health outcomes for mothers and their babies. Similarly, research by PIDE in Pakistan has found that children of remittance-receiving households are more likely to attend schools, especially girls, and have less dropout rates. In many ways, and this is what makes me the most happy about this, the biggest beneficiaries of this will be women, who often play a central role in managing household finances. The vast majority of those who receive remittances from migrant workers are women. In fact, by some estimates, 90% of the recipients of remittances in Pakistan are women. With interoperable payments through Rast, women can receive remittances in their digital branchless banking accounts and mobile wallets, allowing them to retain control over their money and reduce dependency on others for receiving remittances from physical touchpoints. I talked about remittances, but beyond remittances, Buna Rast can also help entrepreneurship. And I'm especially excited about the ways that this technology can help women to digitally participate in the economy, pursue entrepreneurship, and enhancing their economic mobility. Think of a woman who makes handicrafts. Maybe she makes pottery or block prints or some lovely embroidered clothing. Receiving digital payments makes it easier for her to receive and manage money without dependence on access to a physical bank or a service point. Buna Rast can support e-commerce that will help improve women's access to cross-border marketplaces, allowing them to sell their goods more widely and increase their economic potential. It also makes it possible that women can, having established digital trails, that they can be a better candidate for receiving eligibility for loans and credit. In conclusion, by establishing inclusive financial systems, we are making financial services more accessible and affordable and transforming lives for millions of people in Pakistan. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister. I hope the Buna Rast Connectivity Project will serve as a cornerstone in advancing the development of similar initiatives within the domain of digital public infrastructure in Pakistan. I also extend my thanks to the Finance Minister, and I reiterate my request that this project maintains a key focus on incorporating pro-poor use cases to enable access to financial services that can drive socioeconomic mobility for the most underprivileged. And I'd also like to thank to the Arab Monetary Fund and the State Bank for Pakistan for collaborating on this key initiative. And I'd also like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of Karan Das for providing the platform for this invaluable collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zaidi. Thank you for highlighting the benefits to families, especially women and children, of the Buna Rast connectivity, and reminding us of the human side and the human benefit of the digitalization that we're doing. Also, I'd like to thank the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for their continued support in Pakistan on digitalization efforts. Next up, I have the pleasure of inviting on stage Mr. Mohammad Aurangzeb, the Minister for Finance and Revenue for the Government of Pakistan, for the keynote address. Sir, could you please join us?
Honorable Prime Minister, Excellency Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, Chairman, Arab Monetary Fund, Dr. Anita Zaidi, President Gates Foundation, Cabinet colleagues, Governor State Bank, Karan Das, CEO of Vikas, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening. It's a real pleasure to join this important event where we are launching the Buna Rast Connectivity Project. I would like to take this opportunity to warmly welcome Dr. Al-Turki to Pakistan. Excellency, while this is a critical initiative, I also want to put it in the context of a larger engagement that we are having with the government of Saudi Arabia. When we were under Prime Minister's leadership, we attended the World Economic Forum in Riyadh. We were greatly appreciative when Excellency Al-Tuwaijri mentioned Vision 2030 for Government of Saudi Arabia. And that was obviously launched back in 2016. And the results are already there 8 years later. And the Prime Minister was quick to take up on this initiative for him to volunteer success transfer and whatever the journey that you have been on. And he instructed me to take that forward. And I just wanted to mention that to you because a week back, we had a very constructive meeting with the transformation team. And inshallah, over the next 6 months, we are going to learn as much as we can in terms of your transformation journey, sir, because it's all about people, process, technology. Minister for Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony was also present in that meeting. And inshallah, we will try to learn not only in the context of what we are talking about here, but the whole of the government and the whole of the nation approach through which KSA has moved forward, mashallah. And therefore, we are very grateful for that offer, and we are certainly going to take you up on that offer. Before I come to the topic at hand, I do want to talk about the macroeconomic stability, which is now taking roots in Pakistan's economy, which is reflected in the twin deficits which are coming into check, stable currency, foreign exchange reserves, which now, alhamdulillah, are at 2 months import cover, sovereign rating getting upgraded, policy rate moving down, and the investor confidence coming back into the country, not only in terms of institutional flows, which have come either into the equity side or on the fixed income side, but also some of the investments which have come on the B2B side in the form of Aramco, investing in Go Petroleum, Gunvor coming in, BYD as the largest EV brand in the world, as cases in point which reflect the confidence which is coming back into the economy. And from our perspective, Excellency, EFF, the extended fund facility, which we are going into with the fund, will help bring further permanence to this macroeconomic stability. And under that, we remain very committed to the structural reforms, whether it's on the taxation side, whether it's on the energy side, and whether it's on the energy side. So I just want to contextualize the discussion which we are having here now. Now, the remittance flows are a lifeline for any country, and they're certainly a lifeline for Pakistan. In the last fiscal year, these workers' remittances grew by 11% year on year compared to the previous fiscal year. And I was with the governor this morning, and that positive trajectory continues into July. And we had about $3 billion of remittance flows in the month of July. And this is obviously a function, because these things don't happen overnight. This is a function of a lot of things which happened on the macroeconomic stability side, but also in the context of administrative measures which were taken to curb illegal remittance channels, and therefore it is now producing results. Now, while our efforts are beginning to bear fruit, we must do more to sustain this positive growth trend. The informal market, unfortunately, still captures a sizable share of the remittance flows. Addressing this challenge is a key priority for the reducing economic leakages. Dr. Anita, as you just mentioned, and I was hearing you, and you're absolutely right, digitalization is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. It brings transparency, it brings client friendliness, and it certainly helps reduce the leakages in the system. And leakages are not just in the context of remittances. ये जो leakages का कारोबार है, हमने इसको ख़त्म करना है. And you have been hearing the Prime Minister repeatedly saying whether these are leakages in our remittance flows, whether these are leakages in our tax system, and whether these are leakages in our power system. We call it leakages, but all of this is ultimately about corruption. And it's about people, process, technology. And we'll need to combine all of these as we go forward, because that's how this economy has to go forward, including the remittance discussion that we are having now. So that's why today's event is so important. The Buna Rast Connectivity Project holds great promise, and it ticks so many boxes. And I'm not going to go into that. I had a long speech which I had written, but Vikas has talked about it in great detail. Then Governor State Bank has talked about the upsides. Dr. Anita, you mentioned that in terms of how imperative is this initiative, and we make the synergistic agenda make work, because by reducing complexity and the cost, it provides obviously an attractive alternative to formal and otherwise informal channels like Hawala and Hundi. And what I've been told is that it will add additional $6 billion, which in itself is very promising, and I think is the right thing to do. The only thing, Vikas, which I don't agree with is the time period that you are given to me, which is 5 years. So I think the Prime Minister will also maybe talk about it. It's not going to happen in 5 years, my friend.
We are holding workshop right now.
Okay, very good, because I think it's important that we do get and materialize this upside, because it's out there, and we have to bring it into the formal channel. It doesn't need and shouldn't require 5 years, and I'm sure you'll hear from the Prime Minister himself as well. The other thing is about financial inclusion, Dr. Anita, and fully appreciate what you said, also with respect to the diversity agenda and the fact that a lot of these remittances are being sent by women, so you're absolutely right. Another thing from my perspective, also in the context of my previous career, in terms of the compliance agenda, in terms of anything that you bring back into the formal channel, KYC, AML, sanctions, transaction monitoring. This is what is going to keep the country on a sustainable path and track vis-a-vis staying on the right side of FATF, because we never ever want to go back onto the grey list. And this is going to be a very critical component of that as we go forward. So I think it ticks so many boxes, and a lot of speakers before me have already talked about it, that we, from our perspective, are ready, willing, able to support, help, assist any way we can. And I not only speak on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, but whole of the government, and I'm sure the Prime Minister will speak about it as well, because we have to make it successful. I would like to again thank the Honorable Prime Minister that he has graced this occasion, but I know how important this is for him vis-a-vis digital Pakistan and our reform agenda. And it combines a lot of these things together. I would like to congratulate Governor Sahab Aapko, the State Bank of Pakistan, also putting us on Rast, because these are the payment rails through which this connectivity is now coming through. Also to the Arab Monetary Fund, Excellency, we are very grateful to you. And of course, Karandaz, on this partnership. And this partnership with the government, as you've said, Vikas, is multifaceted, but certainly for this, and Dr. Anita, for the generosity that has always been shown by the Gates Foundation for funding it. And inshallah, I'm sure this will bring dividends in terms of this project for the Pakistani workers based in the Arab region, and would certainly deliver economic dividends for Pakistan and Arab region, inshallah.
I would now like to request our chief guest for the event, the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mia Shehbaz Sharif Sahab, to come on stage. Sir, we will begin with the handing over of mementos before we request you for your speech. Can I please request His Excellency Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, Chairperson of the Arab Monetary Fund, to come on stage? We want to present you a memento to recognize your role and to commemorate your participation in the inaugural event of the implementation phase of Buna Rast. Thank you so much. Next up, can I please request Mr. Jameel Ahmed Saab, the Governor for the State Bank of Pakistan, to please come on stage to receive his memento from the Honorable Prime Minister. Can I please request Dr. Anita Zaidi, the President of the BMGF, to please come on stage to receive this memento on our behalf. Can I please request our very own Mr. Waqasul Hassan, the CEO of Karandas Pakistan, to come on stage to receive his memento. I would now like to request the main event, the chief guest for the event, to please come on stage for his address. Thank you, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, Chairperson, Arab Monetary Fund, Federal Minister for Finance, Mohammad Aurangzeb, Dr. Anita Zaidi, President Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Federal Ministers, Governor State Bank, Jameel Ahmed, Waqasul Hassan of Karandas, Excellencies, Federal Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's really a great honor and a pleasure to be here this evening for this connectivity between Buna Rast, which is actually a great connectivity between Pakistan and Arab world. As a matter of great comfort and happiness. This will certainly a great step forward in promoting our financial transaction through modern techniques. In that, I would like to appreciate Your Excellency, your contribution, and Melinda Bill Gates Foundation, and of course, Karandas. You have been extremely helpful in the recent months. I'm sure this project is also going to be very, very productive in our efforts. And Minister Aurangzeb, Governor State Bank, all of you have done a remarkable job. But let me first make a couple of corrections. Karandas CEO said completion time would be 5 years. Actually made a mistake. It was 5 months, in fact. So I'm sure he's going to make this correction sooner rather than later. And there was another mistake made by me, and I'm thankful to His Excellency. He made this correction. I thought Buna comes from Bunni, and he said no, it's not Bunni. It comes from Banaya, that is building. So thank you very much. But Banaya ليس من حديد لكن من فلوس يعني. هذا نقطة مهمة جدا. So I would like to make a very short statement, and that is launching of this Buna Rast connectivity project. As a matter of great, happiness for all of us. It is significant because it is going to expand the reach of Pakistan's digital payment infrastructure. Today, our country enters into a new dimension of digital governance by integrating Pakistan into the broader financial ecosystem and formalizing remittance flows. This groundbreaking initiative will further strengthen our historical relations with the Arab world in a modern digital way. This landmark initiative aims to facilitate our fellow Pakistanis living abroad and ensure that their efforts translate seamlessly as well as timely into support for their families back home in Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Bunar Rast signifies how 21st century Pakistan is moving ahead with augmenting modern technology into people's lives. I am happy that this beginning is happening at a time when the country is celebrating its 77 years of independence, hard-earned independence. It is Pakistan's first cross-border real-time payment systems linkage that will make remittances more affordable and accessible. Additionally, it also holds the potential to accelerate our connectivity into a future model of wider payment connectivity where transaction will take place region to region. Cross-border retail payments and remittances between the Arab region and Pakistan amounts to over $20 billion annually. I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to Arab Monetary Fund, Dr. Fahad Al-Turki, and of course, State Bank of Pakistan, Mr. Jameel Ahmed, as well as Minister of Finance, Karan Das, and many other stakeholders who are involved in this wonderful program. Let us work together to harness the power of finance and technology as a force for good and become better and stronger together. Finance Minister has made certain remarks in his speech. I wouldn't want to add anything on top of that. What he said about our economy, it is on the improve, but still we are facing humongous challenges. Inshallah, through our joint efforts and teamwork, we will, inshallah, reach our destination one day soon. A few challenges which make my job most definitely challenging is the Federal Board of Revenue, which is now undergoing huge transformation. I am personally supervising this fantastic digitization program, again through the good offices of Melinda Bill Gates Foundation and Karan Das. They have offered financial support for this program, and McKinsey is our consultants. We have seen in the past such consultants being engaged for decades, but nothing happened. But this time around, it will happen and happen quicker than all of you can imagine, inshallah. Second challenges are power sector, and that is again a great challenge. We are dealing with it like never before. Inshallah, we will show results through team efforts in coming weeks and months. Our program is under discussion, and I will announce this program very soon. It's called Homegrown Economic Program. Great work has gone into it, great discussions, deliberations. All stakeholders have been involved for the last many months, and recently we've been able to finalize its broad